Good morning, dear students. I am Meenal Murhekar. Welcomes you all in the online tutorial of Sri Eknath Rao Khadse Talent School, Muktai Nagar. So, students, till now we have completed 5 chapters, and today we are going to learn sixth chapter, that is physical and chemical changes. Right. So, first we'll discuss about the name. What is physical and chemical changes? Yes. So we have seen many changes around us. See, when we stretch a rubber band, we have seen that the shape of the rubber band gets changed, right? Then again, it's regain its shape. Yes, our mother used to set curd and in our homes, right? So this is also a change, that milk is getting converted into curd. So this is a change, right? We dissolve sugar in water to make any soft drink or any cold drink. What we used to do, we used to dissolve the sugar in it. Yes, so this is what, this is also a change. Similarly, souring of milk is a change. Stretched rubber band is also a change. So these all are what, these are change. So in this chapter we are going to learn that these changes, which changes are physical changes and which changes are chemical changes. So in this chapter we are going to differentiate the changes into physical and chemical ones. Okay, so let us start. Changes are always happening in the world around us. Changes can be of many types. Some changes are temporary and some changes are permanent. For example, when we stretch a rubber band, it goes back to its original shape when we let go, right? So, that is a temporary change. Yes, but when we burn a paper, it changes to ash forever. Yes, so that is a permanent change, because here we cannot change the ashes into the paper again, right? So some changes are reversible and some changes are irreversible. Reversible means what? मीन्स वापस जिनको हम रिवर्स करके जो फर्स्ट ओरिजिनल फॉर्म है उसमें चेंज करना. और इरिवर्सिबल मीन्स which cannot regain its shape, or it cannot regain what the substance previously it is present in which state. Okay, so this is what reversible and irreversible. Okay, so some changes are reversible and some changes are irreversible. See, ice can change to liquid water and liquid water can change back to ice. Yes, so that is a reversible change. What about the ripening of a fruit? It is a non-reversible change. So, some changes are fast and some changes are slow. See, burning happens quickly. Yes, a paper can be burned quickly. So, it is a fast process. It is a fast change. Yes, see here how fastly the paper got burned. Yes, it's a fast change. What about turning of milk into curd? That takes many hours. Yes, so comparatively, it's a slow change. Some changes are useful and some changes are harmful. Some don't matter either way. See, turning of milk into curd is a useful change, while rusting of iron is a harmful change. Some changes result in the formation of new substance, and in some changes the substance remains as it is. Yes, see, for example, when we melt ice to form water, has the basic material changed? No, it's still water, though it appears to be different. Means here in that condition, what is happening? The ice is still water and the water is the water. Means the main component is not changed. Now see here, when we burn a paper, it turns it into ash and smoke. Yes, so here what is happening? Is the ash the same material as the paper? No, a different material is formed. Ash is a different material. So these are the two different types of changes. In a physical change, the physical properties change. The change where no new substance is formed is called a physical change. Now, what are the physical properties? Things like color, state of matter, smell, taste, density, etc. When these changes occurs, these are called what? These are called physical changes. See one more time. Physical properties means things like the color, state of matter, smell, taste and density. It is important to understand the difference between chemical and physical changes. Okay, some changes are obvious, but there are some basic ideas you should know. Physical changes are usually about physical states of matter. In chemical changes, a new substance is created. When you step on a can and crush it, you have forced a physical change. Means only shape is changing here. See, so it is what? It is a physical change. Here you only change the shape of the can. What happens when you melt a ice cube? You have added a heat energy to raise the temperature and it melts. However, the substance still has not changed. Substance is still water. The water is still water. So, you have a physical change. What happens when you dissolve a sugar in water? The sugar is still sugar and the water is still water even if they mixed with each other. So, it's still a physical change. What happens when you burn a sugar cube? Fire activates a chemical reaction between sugar and oxygen. So, the oxygen in the air reacts with the sugar. It forms carbon and water vapor. There is no sugar left behind. It changes into a different substance. So, burning a sugar cube is a chemical change. Now, see, iron rust when it is exposed to oxygen gas in the air. You can watch the process happens over a long period of time. The molecule change their structure as the iron is oxidized, eventually becoming iron oxide, which is a rust. Rusting is not iron. Rust is not an iron. Rust is a different substance that is formed because of the reaction. Means here what is happening? A new substance is formed. Means iron is not completely getting rusted, but a new substance is formed which covers the iron nails. Okay, so here a new substance is forming, rust, a new substance is forming. Thus it is what? It is a chemical change. So rusting of iron is a chemical change. We can burn a magnesium ribbon. Now you can see a bright light that it makes when it burns. See, you have seen the experiment of magnesium ribbon, right? See, in this way a magnesium ribbon is burned. Yes, in this way it burns. See, so it leaves behind an ash. When magnesium ribbon is burned, what has happened here? Here the ribbon is getting converted into the ash form. Now the ash looks nothing like the magnesium ribbon. Means the ribbon which we have burned is not similar to that of the ash. A new substance is formed, that is the ash. Yes, so here we can represent this as an we can represent this change in an equation form too. Okay. Here the reaction to show you what happens. What happens here? Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Now, what kind of change is this? Physical or chemical? Well, we start with the two substances and end up with a completely different substance here. Yes, so this is a chemical change. How we can say that we have started with the two different substances? We have started with magnesium ribbon, that is the first substance, and another one is oxygen, because only in the presence of oxygen only it will burn, magnesium will burn. So magnesium when burns in the presence of oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Now here we have to we can also means check whether the substance is acidic or basic. The new substance formed, that is magnesium oxide, is formed here, and we have to check whether it is acidic or basic. So how we will do this? We will add water to the magnesium oxide and we'll make an aqueous solution of it, and we will test the solution with the help of the litmus paper. So what you have to observe, that does the mixture turns red litmus to blue, or the mixture turns blue litmus to red. So on the basis of this test, how do you classify the aqueous solution, that is acidic or basic? So what will happen here? On dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance, and this change can be written in the form of the equation, that is magnesium oxide plus water. It will form what? Magnesium oxide plus water will form magnesium hydroxide. And in previous chapter we have learned that the hydroxides of metals are always basic in nature. So magnesium oxide is a new substance formed on burning of magnesium, and magnesium hydroxide is another new substance formed by mixing magnesium oxide with water. Okay. Now see another activity. Take some copper sulfate and add some water to it to make it a solution. It will appear blue in color. Okay, what we have done, we have just taken a copper sulfate solution in a beaker. Now and diluted that with water. Now what we have to do, we have to add some drops of dilute sulfuric acid to it. Take some of this and keep it in take some of this and keep it in a beaker. Okay. Drop some iron articles like a shaving blade in the solution and wait. Okay, so in half an hour the solution changes color. The blue solution turns green. Is this a magic? Yes, it's not a magic, it's a science. Here what is happening, the copper sulfate solution is blue in color, but when we dipped the iron shaving blade inside it, the copper gets shifted, the copper gets accumulated over the iron blade, and the iron is transferred to the copper sulfate solution. So copper gets accumulated over the blade, and thus the solution becomes the solution of iron sulfate, and that's why this color changed from blue to green. Okay. So there is a reaction between copper sulfate and iron. Compare this solution to the one you have kept aside. It's look different. That's because the green substance formed is iron sulfate. So a new substance is formed here. Now check the blade too. There is something brown on the blade. That's copper. So a chemical change has happened, and we can write this reaction as Fe plus CuSO4, that gives FeSO4 plus Cu, means iron plus copper sulfate gives iron sulfate plus copper. Okay. Let's make some more chemical changes happen. Take a vinegar in a test tube and add some baking soda to it. You will hear a hiss and see bubbles, means you will observe a hiss sound in this way. Now pass this gas through lime water. Lime water turns milky. So what does that tell you? It means the gas is carbon dioxide. So the bubbles were of carbon dioxide gas. All these are chemical changes, chemical reactions. Chemical reactions keep happening around us, and they are very important too. Yes, here what is happening, when vinegar is added with the baking soda, what is happening? Vinegar is sour in taste, it means it is acidic. And baking soda, when we add that baking soda in it, means what we have added, we have added a salt to it. So what happens here? Carbon dioxide is formed here, and the hiss sound is produced. That hiss sound is of carbon dioxide, and when we pass this carbon dioxide to lime water, it turns milky. A milky solution is obtained which confirms the presence of carbon dioxide in it. So, chemical changes, all the things that we use, the medicines, the plastics, the metals, the food, are all a result of various chemical reactions. We perform a series of chemical reactions to extract metals from their ores. We make shampoos, toothpaste, soft drinks, and pretty much anything and everything with chemical reactions. Yes, so in a chemical reaction, you see new substances are formed because of the reactions. During the reaction, you could see more changes happening, like heat being given out or absorbed, sound or a gas being produced, or even a change of color. You know that we have an ozone layer in the atmosphere that protect us from ultraviolet rays. Yes, ozone layer is there. So do you know how it does so? When the ultraviolet rays hit the ozone, it breaks down to form oxygen. See, in this way, ozone molecule means ozone is what? When three oxygen molecule binds with each other, it forms ozone. But when ultraviolet rays falls on it, that two oxygen molecules gets converted, means that three oxygen molecules, here you can see it is break, the bond between this oxygen molecule is break, and one free oxygen atom is there and two oxygen molecules are there. Means when the ultraviolet rays hits the ozone, it breaks down to form oxygen. Diatomic molecule of oxygen is formed here, and one oxygen gets free. Yes. So, in fact, how do you think the ozone layer is created? Understand that the oxygen that is in the air is always two oxygen atoms stuck together. Yes, this we have learned. So, one oxygen atom does not hang out on its own, it always is joined to another. A pair of oxygen atoms joined to each other forms an oxygen molecule. These are found in our atmosphere. When high energy ultraviolet rays strike ordinary oxygen molecule, they split and the oxygen molecule into two single oxygen atoms. So what can a single oxygen atom do? Nothing. It just can't survive like that. So it goes and stick to an oxygen molecule. An oxygen molecule already has two atoms. When a third one comes and stick to it, what happens? You get ozone. So the ozone layer is created mainly because of ultraviolet radiation. Again, when the ultraviolet radiation hits an ozone molecule, the ozone molecule splits into an ordinary oxygen molecule and a free oxygen atom. Usually, this free oxygen atom quickly rejoins with an oxygen molecule to form another ozone molecule. Because of this ozone oxygen cycle, harmful ultraviolet radiation is continuously converted into heat. So the ultraviolet rays create the ozone and splits the ozone. That is where the energy gets used up, and that is how the ozone protects life on earth. Isn't that interesting? What did we have just learned? Physical changes are usually about physical states of matter, while in chemical changes, a new substance is created. Yes. So, in this way, we have learned we have completed the first part of this chapter, that is physical and chemical substances. We have differentiated substances on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. When something new is formed, then we can call it as a chemical change, while when only some physical properties get changed, we call it as a physical change. Okay, so this is about physical and chemical changes. In another part, we are going to learn about more about some chemical changes, that is rusting of iron and galvanization, crystallization. These three processes we are going to see in the next part. Till then, you just go through this chapter, read read the NCERT textbook and ask your doubts whatever you have. Okay, till then, have a good day. Bye bye.